Chapter 1: The Vanishing Treats. Molly's love for baking filled her cozy kitchen with warmth and delightful aromas. She had a special talent for creating mouthwatering treats that brought joy to everyone in her small town of Sweetville. Among her many delightful creations, Molly's chocolate chip cookies were the talk of the town. On a sunny morning, the golden rays peeked through Molly's bedroom window, waking her up with a sense of excitement. She jumped out of bed, knowing that today was the day she would bake a fresh batch of her famous chocolate chip cookies. With enthusiasm bubbling inside her, Molly skipped down the stairs and headed straight for the kitchen. She gathered all the necessary ingredients: flour, sugar, butter, and of course, plenty of chocolate chips. Molly meticulously measured each ingredient, mixing them together with care. As she formed the dough into perfect little balls and placed them on the baking tray, anticipation filled the air. Molly's heart skipped a beat with every cookie that went into the oven. The delightful aroma of warm, melting chocolate began to fill the kitchen, teasing her senses. Molly couldn't help but smile, imagining the joy that her cookies would bring to the people of Sweetville. She imagined their eyes lighting up as they bit into the soft, chewy center, their taste buds dancing with the perfect balance of sweetness and chocolatey goodness. Finally, the timer dinged, signaling that the cookies were ready. Molly opened the oven door, eagerly awaiting the sight of her golden brown creations. But as she peered inside, her smile turned into a look of utter shock. The baking tray sat empty, void of any cookies. Not a single one remained. Molly's heart sank, and confusion washed over her. How could this be? She had made sure to follow her recipe precisely, and she knew she hadn't eaten them herself. She searched the kitchen frantically, opening cupboards and peeking into every nook and cranny, hoping to find a clue. But there was no trace of the missing cookies. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Molly's disappointment was palpable. She couldn't understand what had happened to her beloved treats. Who could have taken them? And more importantly, why? Little did Molly know, her quest to solve the mystery of the vanishing treats was about to begin. With a determined glint in her eyes, she vowed to uncover the truth behind the disappearance of her delectable chocolate chip cookies. The adventure awaited, and Molly was ready to embark on her journey as a young detective. Chapter 2: Detective Molly. As Molly stood in her kitchen, still baffled by the disappearance of her cookies, she knew it was time to put on her detective hat. Determination etched across her face, she decided to follow the only clue she had, a trail of crumbs leading away from the empty baking tray. Leaving her kitchen behind, Molly ventured outside into the bright sunlight, the warm breeze brushing against her cheeks. She followed the trail of crumbs, which wound its way through the backyard and into the neighboring streets of Sweetville. With each step, Molly's detective instincts sharpened. She scanned her surroundings, searching for any additional clues that might shed light on the mystery. And then, there it was, a series of tiny paw prints imprinted in the soil. Molly's eyes widened with excitement. The paw prints suggested that an animal might be involved in the disappearance of her cookies. Determined to find answers, she followed the paw prints, her detective senses guiding her through the town. The trail took her to the local park, a lush green oasis where children played and families gathered for picnics. Molly cautiously stepped onto the grass, her eyes scanning the area for any signs of the mischievous cookie thief. And then she saw it, a cluster of crumbs scattered beneath a tree, as if someone had been enjoying a secret feast. Molly's heart raced with anticipation as she carefully approached the tree, her gaze fixed on the branches above. And there they were, squirrels, scampering about with their bushy tails and mischievous eyes. They chattered among themselves, seemingly unaware of Molly's presence. She watched as one of them nibbled on something small and brown, a chocolate chip from her very own cookies. Molly's hunch had been correct. The squirrels were the culprits behind the vanishing treats. But instead of feeling angry, Molly couldn't help but smile at their cleverness. After all, who could resist the aroma of her delicious cookies? Approaching the squirrels with a gentle tone, Molly addressed them, "Excuse me, little friends. I believe you may have taken something of mine." The squirrels froze, guilt creeping into their expressions. They huddled together, their tiny paws fidgeting with the remaining crumbs of the stolen cookies. "I understand how tempting they must have been," Molly continued kindly. "But those cookies were meant to be shared with the people of Sweetville. Would you please consider returning them?" The squirrels exchanged glances, their eyes flickering with a mix of hesitation and remorse. Finally, one of them nodded, and with nimble movements, they retrieved the hidden stash of cookies, placing them at Molly's feet. Molly's heart swelled with gratitude. She thanked the squirrels for their cooperation and assured them that no harm was done. Forgiveness, she knew, was a vital part of any adventure. With the cookies now back in her possession, Molly couldn't wait to bring the joy of her baking to the people of Sweetville once again. But this time, she would keep a closer eye on her treats, knowing that even mischievous squirrels couldn't resist the allure of her magical cookies. Chapter 3: The Squirrel Connection. With the stolen cookies safely back in her possession, Molly couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity about the squirrels' involvement in the disappearance. She knew there had to be more to the story, and she was determined to uncover the squirrel connection. Molly sat down beneath the shady tree in the park, where the squirrels had made their secret stash. She observed the squirrels as they scurried around, their fluffy tails flicking playfully. She wondered if they had a reason for taking her cookies, beyond mere temptation. Taking a deep breath, Molly decided to approach the squirrels once again. She spoke to them in a gentle voice, "Little friends, thank you for returning the cookies. I'm curious to know why you took them. Is there a particular reason?" The squirrels looked at one another, their eyes shimmering with a mixture of shyness and guilt. Finally, one squirrel stepped forward, its tiny paws fidgeting nervously. "We're sorry," it squeaked, "we couldn't resist the irresistible smell of your cookies. We love sweets too, and we thought they were meant for us." Molly's heart melted at the squirrel's honesty. She smiled warmly and said, "I understand how tempting they must have been. But you see, these cookies were meant to be shared with the people of Sweetville. The joy they bring is for everyone." The other squirrels nodded in agreement, their expressions filled with remorse. They admitted that they had seen Molly baking and couldn't resist the mouth-watering aroma that filled the air. In their innocent squirrel minds, they believed the cookies were a gift from nature. Molly reassured the squirrels that she held no grudges against them. She understood their temptation and explained that it was important to ask before taking something that didn't belong to them. She shared stories of the joy her cookies brought to the people of Sweetville and how she wanted everyone to experience that happiness. As Molly spoke, the squirrels' eyes widened with understanding. They realized that their actions had disrupted the balance of sharing and kindness that Molly had fostered through her baking. Together, Molly and the squirrels decided to forge a new connection, a connection of mutual understanding and cooperation. Molly promised to bake special treats for the squirrels, made specifically for their enjoyment, while the squirrels promised to respect the boundaries and not take anything that belonged to others. From that day forward, Molly and the squirrels developed an unlikely friendship. They played together in the park, and Molly even taught them a few tricks, like balancing acorns on their heads. The people of Sweetville were amazed when they witnessed Molly's friendship with the squirrels. It served as a reminder that compassion and forgiveness can bridge gaps between different beings, even those as seemingly different as a young girl and a group of mischievous squirrels. And so, Molly's encounter with the squirrels led to a deeper understanding of the importance of communication and respect. The squirrel connection became a symbol of harmony and friendship in Sweetville, reminding everyone that even in unexpected places, connections can be formed and lessons can be learned. Chapter 4: Confronting the Squirrels. After forging a new connection with the squirrels, Molly felt a sense of peace and understanding. However, she couldn't shake off a nagging thought: there was still something unresolved. She realized that she needed to have a heartfelt conversation with the squirrels about boundaries and the importance of respecting personal belongings. With determination in her eyes, Molly set out to confront the squirrels. Molly found the squirrels near their favorite oak tree in the park, chattering and playfully scampering around. She approached them, her tone gentle but firm. "My dear squirrel friends, I want to talk to you about something important." The squirrels paused their activities, sensing the seriousness in Molly's voice. They gathered around her, their eyes focused on her with curiosity and anticipation. "Munching on acorns and playing tricks is wonderful, but it's essential to respect personal belongings," Molly explained, her voice filled with empathy. "Just as you have your treasured spaces and homes, we humans have our own belongings that are special to us." The squirrels listened intently, their expressions reflecting a mixture of understanding and remorse. They realized that Molly's words held a valuable lesson. Molly continued, "When we respect each other's boundaries, it creates harmony and understanding between different beings. I want us to continue our friendship, but we need to establish trust and respect for one another's possessions." The squirrels nodded, their eyes filled with newfound comprehension. They understood the importance of Molly's words and were eager to make amends for their past actions. Together, Molly and the squirrels established an agreement. The squirrels pledged to refrain from taking anything that belonged to others, and Molly promised to be mindful of leaving small treats for the squirrels in designated areas within the park. With the agreement in place, a renewed sense of trust blossomed between Molly and the squirrels. The people of Sweetville noticed the positive changes, and the story of Molly's connection with the squirrels spread throughout the town. Molly's encounter with the squirrels became a beacon of hope, inspiring others to find common ground and embrace understanding in their own lives. The people of Sweetville admired Molly's compassion and her ability to foster harmony between different beings. From that day forward, Molly and the squirrels worked together to maintain a balance of sharing, respect, and friendship. They became a living example of how even the most unlikely connections could lead to profound positive change. As the town of Sweetville embraced the lessons learned from Molly and the squirrels, a newfound sense of harmony and empathy spread, creating a community that valued compassion, understanding, and the power of forgiveness. Chapter 5: Forgiveness and Understanding. The town of Sweetville was abuzz with the inspiring story of Molly and the squirrels. The lessons of compassion, respect, and forgiveness had touched the hearts of everyone, creating a ripple effect of positive change. As the days passed, Molly noticed a shift in the atmosphere of the town. People became more understanding and empathetic towards one another. Molly couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the transformation that had taken place. She realized that her encounter with the squirrels had taught her valuable lessons about forgiveness and understanding, which she now aimed to share with others. One sunny morning, Molly decided to organize a special event in the park. Word quickly spread throughout Sweetville, and soon families and friends gathered, curious to see what Molly had planned. As the crowd gathered, Molly took center stage. With a bright smile, she addressed the townspeople. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. We've all witnessed the power of forgiveness and understanding in the story of the squirrels. Let us now embrace these values and spread joy in Sweetville." Molly's words resonated deeply with the audience. They nodded in agreement, their eyes filled with anticipation for what was to come. Molly unveiled a large table filled with delicious treats, baked with love and care. There were cookies of all flavors, cupcakes with colorful frostings, and pies with golden crusts. The tantalizing aroma filled the air, invoking a sense of delight and togetherness. With joy in her heart, Molly invited everyone to indulge in the sweet offerings. As people savored the treats, a renewed sense of unity and appreciation bloomed. Conversations flowed, laughter filled the park, and the spirit of forgiveness and understanding became palpable. Molly went from group to group, sharing stories of the lessons she had learned from the squirrels. She emphasized the importance of empathy, kindness, and the willingness to forgive. Her words touched the hearts of those who listened, and the message of unity resonated throughout the gathering. The event turned into a celebration of friendship and harmony. People connected, strangers became friends, and barriers were broken down. The magic of Molly's baking, combined with the power of forgiveness, created an atmosphere of joy and love. As the day came to a close, Molly reflected on the transformation she had witnessed in Sweetville. The people had embraced the lessons of forgiveness and understanding, carrying them into their daily lives. The ripple effect of her encounter with the squirrels had spread far beyond what she could have imagined. From that day forward, Sweetville became known as a town where forgiveness and understanding thrived. The lessons learned from Molly and the squirrels continued to shape the interactions between neighbors, fostering a community built on empathy, respect, and love. Molly beamed with pride, knowing that her journey had made a positive impact on the lives of those around her. With every cookie shared, every smile exchanged, and every act of forgiveness extended, Sweetville became a shining example of the power of forgiveness and understanding. And so, the story of Molly and the squirrels became a cherished tale in Sweetville, reminding everyone that through forgiveness and understanding, joy can be spread, friendships can be forged, and a community can thrive.